Hi, 7th grade. It's Mrs. K across the hallway, trying to help, okay? So let's talk our packet really quick. So I'll give you just a second, go ahead and pause your video. If you do not have your engineering internship packet in front of you, please pause, go get your packet, okay? What should be done, like all the way done, you should have your chapter 1 through 5 questions done. These questions that use the dossier. If you are one of my friends who is still confused on where to find the dossier, let me help you. We go to Programs and Apps. I have more buttons than you do. You go to Library. Once we're in the library, we go to Genre. And I have more genres than you guys do because I have 8th grade on here as well. You are going to go down until you find your natural selection engineering internship. And you're going to click on that dossier right here. It's that very first one. Okay? These other two, you're more than welcome to look through. This last one is a multilingual glossary. Okay? So if English is not your first language, you might want to check this out. It could be helpful. And then this is a fun article about meeting an engineer who actually prints 3D for a living, okay? But we'll go into the dossier here. I'm going to start reading. In the dossier, ew, gross first picture. Yucky bugs, okay? And the first request for proposals. This is our chapter 1. So our chapter 1 questions is with this information, okay? Chapter 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we should be reading all these and answering our questions. If you don't answer these questions, the rest of the packet and your write-up is going to feel really difficult. You are still going to do your write-up for this, and part of that write-up is, hey, what article did you use to know this information? Okay, so let's do the work in our packet so we don't have to come back and check our articles, all right? That being said, really quick, what are my 3 project criteria for this unit? Hopefully we know it was to minimize drug resistance, minimize patient side effects, and to keep costs low, or something along those lines, okay? All right, so moving on in our packet. I am not going to go over how to do this page, okay? I'm not going to go over that. If Miss Moy wants to do that when she gets back, that's totally fine. I want to talk about analyzing single drug treatments, okay? It's after this, right? Okay, step 1 says, let me go to my sim. Test 1 says, malaria drug treatment, 7 days of drug A at a small dose. Okay, right there. So, I'm going to go find drug A, small, and I'm going to repeat this for 7 days. Okay? 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. But Mrs. K, what is the purpose? Okay? Why is it helpful to isolate variables like this? So that I can actually see what does drug A do compared to drug B or drug C, okay? So I have all 7 days, the same thing. What is my independent variable here? What is the thing that I am changing? I am changing my number of days. I'm keeping the test the same. So I'm going to test. And here's my results. Okay. So percentage of population with high resistance. Okay. 99% high resistance to drug A. Parasite population, no change. Total cost, that is a bit high, $5,250. And my side effects were mild, so okay. Okay, this after 10 years. I'm going to fill that in on my top here, okay? All that information, okay? And then I'm going to write my observations. Well, my observations is what I just kind of thought while reading these, like, oh, 99% to drug A, not great, okay? That cost, really high, but the side effects were okay. That goes in my observations, okay? 2-ish sentences. If you don't have that, go fix it, okay? And then I'm going to do the same for, there's my reset. I'm going to do the same for drug B and drug C. I want to see what my difference is between each drug. So again, what is my independent variable here? What am I, small. What's my independent variable here? What's my isolated variable that I am changing? I am changing right here, I am changing the type of drug. I am keeping the days the same. I am changing just the type of drug for the whole week, okay? So I'm going to test. Okay, and now I'm seeing some difference here, okay? So over here, the percentage of parasite population with a high resistant to drug B, that's the only one I gave it, was really high, okay? Parasite population got a lot bigger with just small dose of drug B. The cost was better and the side effects were better, but there's now more bugs, okay? So like, not great on its own, okay? And then I'm gonna reset. So again, I filled in that information and my comments was just what I was talking, okay? More bugs, not great, cost okay, side effects good, right? And then I'm going to test drug C. Okay, drug C, only an 88% resistance, okay, that's better. Large increase in parasite population, not great. Cost, though, really, really good, but now my side effects were moderate, okay? Are any of these 3 drugs good on their own? Like, are any of my trials really good when I say just drug A, just drug B, just drug C? Is any of that working? No, okay? That would be way too easy. You must have some mix of how much you're doing. Okay, so now that we've tested the different kinds of drugs, on that back side of your page, you're telling me your pros and cons of each of them, okay? What was good about drug A? What was bad about drug A? Drug B and C. Your observations. These are just your observations, okay? If you didn't take observations, you might have to go back and or just watch the video because I just did the experiment for you, okay? And then you're doing your project summary. You're just answering the questions. What is the problem we're trying to solve? What are we building the sim with? What are we doing, okay? Describe the first criteria. So what does it mean to minimize drug resistance? Why do I care about doing that? Why is it important, okay? And then finish through question 6, okay? On that next page, understanding malaria med variables. Looks like this. Okay. I came in class and said this, but let me say it again. You're picking one. So you're either at the very top has 2 bullet points. It says, how does size affect a single drug treatment? Or how do the number of days affect a single drug treatment? Pick one. Pick one to test, okay? If you want to pick the size, okay? If you want to pick the size, are you testing all 6 if I'm picking the size? Sure. You're just comparing large versus small of A, right? large versus small of B, large versus small of C, and how did the size of one drug compare to the other? If you want to do the day, number of days, are you picking more than one drug? No. If you are doing the number of days, you're just picking one, okay? So like small, A large for 1 day. What's that look like? Run my test. Okay, great. Not wonderful. What about A for 2 days? Same drug. Test. Did it get better? What about with 3 days? Test. Did it get better? Okay, and you're writing down on here because on the back side, you're picking one category to fill in. So it either says, how do the number of days affects or how does the dose size affect? You picked one, so you're just filling in one. Okay, moving on. And then we got to we're doing testing, okay, where we're just trying to make a good pack of drugs that is actually working well. Okay. If it's not a good test, don't write it down. And then you're going to pick your very best test on this page, okay? Once you get to here, I will post the next video about how to do this part, okay? Because this part's going to lead us into our final write-up. Hopefully we're all here, and this was just review. If it's not, you have some work to catch up on, and you need to ask your elbow partners for help, okay? If you have questions, ask 3, then your teacher. If you still can't get them answered, have your sub write down the questions, send them to me. I'll get them for you the next day, okay? You guys got this. Try your best.